All right. Right, let me make sure everything is properly right here. I think we do have the light. First live ever on my YouTube channel, guys. So please bear with me a little bit if this is not gonna, what you are used to on other channels. So yeah, gonna go over AMC today. What happened with the markets? Don't really pay attention to this title now. Title, just a temporary title that I put, like, so what now? What do we do? So I'm gonna go over a little bit, what happened today with AMC. This is um, Friday option chain. Hey Preston. Hey John Doe. Yeah, I know. You always say it's over, man, but I mean it will be over when this thing gets to zero. So until it's not crashing down to zero, I don't think it's over. Hey Dustin, how's it going, man? Hey Lion 22. Hello, man. How's it going? How is everybody Friday? Did you make any money today trading any of the crazy stocks that we had? DWC, fun. We're gonna go over all of this. Yep, Jonas, I definitely agree with you. AMC is a sleeping giant, so we're gonna go over all of these. MARK from Floyd Brops. Yep, first live. I'm sorry. Just welcoming the few folks here. We have conspirator of plots. It wasn't. We got distracted buying Trump stocks and didn't stop hedges. Yeah, I don't really think so. I don't think it really is so because I mean I've saw some of the comments on social media from people actually posting gains that they made on DWAC, and they were planning on putting everything back to AMC. So I think, it will be good for us if those profits are coming back. Wow. Hey, Jonas, you made 8,000. Wow. I don't think, man, good for you, man. I totally missed this. When I cut up on this, I think it was already at 27. I was like, man, do I get in? It's probably way over price now. And then boom, went to 52. I was like, no, I'm not touching it. I'm not chasing it because I'm exposing myself to pretty much being a back holder here. So I didn't touch it, and then I watched it overnight. Pretty much went to the moon. I mean, it was already at 106 after hours yesterday. In pre-market today, I mean, opening at 136, but it was wow. Anybody traded fund today? FPHPHUN or CRTD. Those are like 1,000% just overnight. I mean, crazy, 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 crazy. All right, folks. Let us see here. So AMC today, what do we have? Have you guys, find it really funny that AMC, whenever it has a very bad day, it will always tend to go green after hours? I mean, what's up with that? Dark pools, right? Because I don't see any other explanation rather than that, manipulation we've been seeing so far. But it's kind of interesting because when you look at the option chain, the option chain is quite interesting because we are now sitting at what almost 4,000 calls in the money, and then pretty much 10,000. I mean, 10 times that into the puts volume. I mean, we already know that options were kind of a pity. I mean, a money pit because they tend to always play with our emotions, and I think it's pretty much an illustration of what would happen today. But I feel like they really had to bring this below $40. Looking at the chart, you can see that for the last 5 days, I mean, this thing was really struggling to stay in the mid, 42 to 44. But from Thursday, they really made sure that, hey, we do everything in our power to push this thing, as further down as possible to make all these in the money options worthless. All right, we have some new members here. Alvin didn't get into DWC. Think it's another grief by Trump to milk the sheep. Nothing wrong with making money though. Yep, that's a way of seeing it. But yeah, I think it will attract some more people, and definitely if I get this around 9, definitely put some money in there. But I think even without this whole pump and dump, I think it's still something that will attract a lot of attention because, I mean, what are we talking about here? Censorship, right? If you're not free anymore to do and say whatever you want to do on a social platform, I mean, we are in America. This is not Russia. So, kicking out the a former president on all major platforms, I mean, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube is even, I mean, Facebook is for 2 years, right? So, Truth Social, when it comes out, I think it's gonna drive a lot of traffic, and traffic means money. So maybe this will be the revolution of the whole social media thing. We have Terrell. What the D limit is about? What are you referring to, Terrell? I don't know exactly. What do you mean? Yep, E-Bomb. This is live. My first live ever. We have Floyd drops. Still holding my AMC shares at 9.95 minute commission to January. Hey, good for you, man. Good for you. Good for you. I think this is the way to go. Yep. you. Thanks, Ebom. Thanks. I really appreciate it, man. I really do. So, going back to what I had planned for today. So, interestingly enough, Motley Fool as this example. I mean, this article. Why AMC stock dropped today? I mean, they talk about the downtrend being driven by Walt Disney announcement of more movie delays earlier this week. So Disney reshuffled the release dates of 5 Marvel films, and as a result, fans of movies from popular franchise such as Thor and Black Panther will need to wait several more months before they can see their favorite superheroes on the big screen again. I mean, what does it have to even do with anything else? So again, when they don't find any answer on why the drop or why it drops 2%, AMC's, everywhere. When it goes up 8-10%, nobody talks about it. Even 25%, nobody talks about it. So I mean, I know Motley Fool, we all know what they are up to, but I just draw it to our attention so that you can see what we're working with per se. Citadel fights the SEC on new delimit order. Yeah, Terrell. Yeah, okay. Thanks for clarifying. The delimit is about. Hey, D'Artagnan, Dawson. Hey, you're doing great, my dude. Thanks, man. Thanks. Really appreciate it, man. Thanks for all your support. So, back to Terrell points. October 25th, we have this call thing where Citadel is going to actually confront and settle this matter with the SEC in court. Why? Because we have this deal limit thing that the SEC is kind of putting as a change. Pretty much it means, okay, when we send our orders to the market, all right, before it actually gets filled, that time frame, it's really the market maker. It is the guy in between you and I, the buyer and the seller, to actually make sure that they can fill our order with what we call the best execution. Pretty much, if I want to buy tomatoes now, all right, if I want to buy tomatoes because I want to keep to make a meal, all right, I have so many choices where I can actually get those tomatoes. I can go to Kroger, I can go to HEB, I can go to Walmart, I can go to the gross market, to Whole Foods, Sprout. I can go to so many places where I can actually get tomatoes. Okay, now depending on where I find the best price, this is actually what we compare to be the best execution in the market. So things are no more different than what we call best execution, because when you send your order, your brokerage firm will actually try to send it where it's supposed to get the best price ever. You don't want to get your tomatoes at what's $1 a pound at HEB, while you can get it, at 89 cents at Walmart, right? Because you're getting a better price. So if you want to buy in bulk, I mean, the more the volume, the more money, the more demand, the better price for you. So the SEC is trying to make sure that this process of finding who is actually the best way, where is the best place for you to get the best price possible, is going to be changed, not only from what is actually being processed, but it's going to be handled by artificial intelligence. So pretty much by a computer, by a machine. So it removes that ability that the hedges had initially to see ahead of the book order, because they see pretty much all the limit. They see who is trying to buy at which price, who's trying to sell at which price. So they can do what we call arbitrage, meaning If they see that lots of people want to buy over the market order because there are so many demands, that's pretty much what happened today with DWC and yesterday. They can pause our orders, send it through dark pools in order to use that demand to their favor. Hence, the manipulation and also the naked shorts. So the deal limit is actually the way for the SEC to move away from that, and that's why Citadel is fighting hard, because they definitely don't want this to happen, because it means less volume, it means less flexibility, it means less way for them to actually make more money under the table. So hopefully this is somehow the way to actually bring more clarity, more transparency, more light into this whole thing. All right, welcoming the new folks here. Um, so Terrell, I hope that this answers your question, or the item you raised earlier with the delimit order. We have so many highs, so many folks here, always learning. So we have a question from always learning. AC, okay, real talk. At what point of this continued lack of buying pressure will you actually be concerned? Down to 30, down to 25, or never? All right. So pretty much the difference between these pump and dumps or these other, stocks that are popping, like, the if the main movement, if you will. The only difference with AMC is that if shorts were really had nothing to be concerned about. If this was really a true definition of a meme stock, I think this would have went all the way down to $8 or $10. I mean, remember what happened to Kodak last year. Remember what happened to CCIV. Remember what happened to, I mean, there are so many examples I can take. DWAC, a bunch of pharmaceutical stocks that pop, especially pre-market or after hours when there is a news impacting a new discovery, maybe, an advancement on some of the research they're making. And then the next day or 2 days after, you look at the share price, everything is all the way back down. So it's not the case with AMC. Why? Because I think there is really, really, really something different here. And it's about the narrative that the short used in order to show things to begin with. And now that it doesn't make sense anymore, I mean, just look at the amount of people going back to theaters. Look at the amount of people, look at the numbers on the box office. I mean, I read yesterday or the day before yesterday that No Time to Die from, the James Bond movie 007 actually grossed more than $500 million. This is the biggest number ever for box office for a James Bond movie in the entire history of the series. So it tells you a lot about the movie theaters going back and coming back to life, not only surviving but thriving. And that's why I think I wouldn't really be concerned about the share price going down, because, I mean, people who are selling this are mostly day traders, swing traders, or people who are chasing other pumpers. All right. But the OGs, I mean, I don't know if you guys remember this, but even with just 40% of the entire OG, so we are about 6-8 millions now. So even with less that amount, we still have the potential to go to the moon. And that's why, and that's because of, the distinction between the real shares and the synthetics. They created so many synthetics. I mean, just imagine that you have a car that you sell, and I mentioned this example so many times. You have an example, you have a car you want to sell, right? And then you have a car title for just one car, but you want to do a copy of that title and, sell it to multiple people while giving them the impression that they own the car, but in reality only one person owned the car, because whenever you have to do that transfer of title, the DMV is going to only ask you for one single title, and that's to the one single person that is actually buying the real car or having the original of the title. So they created so many copies of the title that it's not even complicated for them to make sure which one is the real deal. So they have to buy pretty much every single thing, including the real shares. But the amount of people, the core, okay, the heart of the movement of the apes holding the real shares, it's big enough for this thing to pop and do what it was supposed to do. So I wouldn't be really concerned about the share price, even if it drops to 15. Remember the Volkswagen thing. I don't know if I can pull up the Volkswagen chart here, but before it had the real run up to 1,000 euros, it went all the way down to what? Pretty much the level before the whole thing started. So I wouldn't be really concerned about that. So we have a lot more people joining here. Yes, AC, do you have any stock classes you teach? That's for Sterel. No, I don't have any. I don't have any stock class I teach now, but I was planning on building a course for how to make the stock market demystified and understandable in simple language for kids and teenagers. But I was also planning on doing some more videos that break down how to make money in the stock market. I mean, how to use the stock market to make money. You can make money several different ways. So investment into AMC, for example, is just a way of doing it. There are so many other ways we can use in order to make some money in the market that I think lots of us are not even aware of. I mean, you can do pretty much from $50 to $100 easily by just spending 1 to 2 hours every single day on your phone. You don't need to have a specific trading tower like I used to when I was working on the trading floor. So those are the kind of things I want to start making videos on for moving forward, and potentially having more lives like this. So let me know, guys, if you really think this will be helpful. More lives, not specifically to talk about AMC, but to actually get some more clarity and in simple language, breaking down discussions and exchange, sharing our experiences with how to win with money. So conspirator of plots, and for DWAC, that definitely happened at least 30% the last give or take. They plan to double DWAC and sell them back into the mid. Yeah, that would be a good plan. Yeah. TWAC, that's from Le Clavier. Distraction over, crypto distraction over, or back to the decline. Evergrande fear over, increase short positions. Post Powell talk over bullish next week. Yeah, potentially. Since they drag this down, when you look at the option chain that I share here with you, I mean, look at the calls in the money expiring. This is crazy. So since they shorted it down to oblivion, hopefully this will be another buying opportunity for the bulls. Because I mean, have you heard about the expression saying everything that goes down ultimately will go up? That's because stocks and assets in the market, they go up and down. Why? Because whenever something like DWC, okay, or AMC or whatever price, I mean, or whatever stock, whenever they go up, it's because you had a price level that was attractive to so many people that they put the money. Let's take DWAC for example. Pull up the chart here. TWAC, here it is. So let's go back to the 5-day chart. All right. So 9 to 10 was pretty an attractive level, and this was the buying opportunity. So anybody here, even with $500 had 50 shares, 5,000 has 100 shares, 50,000 has 5,000 shares. So it made sense that people will buy it here. Now, when it runs all the way up to, let's say, 131 or even 175, like it did today intraday, it hits that level where it's less attractive for somebody even with money to actually get in, because it ran so high so quick that it has to cool off. And this is where it's a short selling opportunity or selling opportunity, because you want to make sure you secure those profits. You want to make sure that you make those gains. And that's why people selling, taking profits will attract the short sellers. The short seller will push the price down for it to also cool. When you look at the technicals, the RSI, for example. And then whenever it drops to that level where it will make sense again to get back in, people will start buying again, averaging down, averaging up. And, that's why I think we can see here happening next week with AMC. So to your question, yeah, it next week can be definitely bullish. Wow, we have so many people. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anybody. So we have Zanis, Kemfam, Edwin Finch. In public I play it when AMC goes up to get hype. Okay, we have William Carwile. AMC and Gimme is to manipulate it to move like a normal stock. Trump stock Trump stock, for example. Yeah, definitely agree. And that's why I made a video yesterday, kind of, making a similarity or finding a connection between the two, because whatever is happening here or happened with DWAC is actually a pretty good damn thing, because it's preparing us for what is going to actually happen with AMC without the dog pools. And I stumbled upon something here. I don't know if you guys saw this. Where is it? All right, this is from this guy, and actually it looks like Trade Trace liked it on Twitter. I said it yesterday. In 2 weeks' time, SEC and Gary Gensler will be announcing the upward restrictions in certain stocks, AMC and GameStop, specifically. I can't tell you who I am, but save this tweet and thank me later, or write me off as a lunatic. Doesn't really matter. So if it happens, I will give you a 100 share. This is a response from Ricardo. So I don't know exactly who this guy is. Maybe he seems to be like an insider or having some type of information. But I mean, based on what we saw so far, things are being shook off. I mean, the tree seems like things are shifting a little bit. And I mentioned this earlier this week. Why? Because in one hand, you have politicians that are using their position into Washington and their connections, the network, the high-ranking profile to actually trade stocks and make bunch of money. I mean, seriously, bunch of money. I shared with you yesterday in a Nancy Pelosi tracker portfolio. I mean, her and husband, they definitely are. I mean, really salute to the guy who actually created a trading app to actually follow whatever investments they are getting in, because they never ever lose, whether it's in the stock market or the real estate business. So that's why I think the light being shed on that, plus the Fed officials who also traded some stocks back in 2020. And even though they are claiming that nothing wrong was done, harming the guidelines or the code of conducts, I really have a hard time believing personally that they didn't have some type of information, insider information, that even if you and I, for the regular Joe on the street, had it, we would be making a different type of moves with our money, hence making millions like they did. All right. So I think the fact that the Fed chair is actually changing codes, changing the rules to make sure they give back some kind of transparency, I think the SEC can actually get inspired. But it's actually an example, it's definitely an example of a shift into what is happening, and hopefully that brings up a lot of attention to whatever is happening here with the dog. Maybe that's why we heard 2 weeks ago that Elizabeth Warren, the GOP senators, and President Biden are actually going after Ken Griffin, because believe it or not, it's also hurting them pretty hard. So they want to make sure things get pretty square. So who else do we have in the chat? Hey, welcome to the new people in the house. Sorry, I have these come likely calls that I keep getting. Ellie in the building, that's from Zani. So William, I hope that I answer your question. Grass to everyone that bought today, we're looking at an extremely bullish so a closing price. Yup, definitely. Did you see Apex stop buying on few? Nobody's talking about this. They took the buy button away from fun. Oh wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that at all. What fun did today? So let's go back. I have it already pulled up here. All right, Funware. Yeah, I know that it got halted more than the rest. Yeah, it got halted, I think, for the first half of the hour of the trading session, and since then, boom, it went down. But I didn't know, I wasn't aware of the buy button being removed. So it seems like things have not changed at all. AC, when payment for order flow gets banned, Monday will AMC move like DWC? Oh, for sure, for sure. Ipsos to day traders and shorts. Yep. We have D'Artagnan Dawson again. I'm not selling anything, bro. I'm not leaving no matter what. Yep, I think that's the way. I mean, I haven't touched my AMC, and I'm even I'm even scared of day trading this thing because it's so volatile. One day you can be sitting and it does nothing, and then like literally half an hour prior to the closing bell, boom, 25%. Carlos Ochoa, AMC is a pump and dump investment. Not really, because the definition of a pump and dump is really short term. I mean, look back at so many other stocks, and you will see that a pump, it's when people pump it, but once it gets to a certain level, they remove the money and then they leave with the back holders. I mean, if you are thinking that AMC is a pump and dump, so what about Bitcoin? What about Tesla? What about Neo? What about all these favorites stocks that lots of people with lots of money are buying? All right, so how do we have reversion play? It's not censorship when a private business decides to ban someone. That is really capitalism. Trump is bitching about private business, not government censorship. Words are hard, I guess. Yeah, I think we can have a different definition or understanding of what censorship is, but I still think it's a little bit, overboard. But that's my opinion. We don't have to share the same opinion. AMC won't announce before it pop up. If AMC dips to even 10, apes will load up. I'm mostly looking for some questions. One in Carlos Ochoa identifies still upside. Spy. Man, what do you use for your curls? Do you use from brush? So Vante, I used to use a brush, but that's when my hair was still kind of sidetrack here, guys. So nothing to do with finance. Yeah, I also used to do videos on my YouTube channel's wife, Josefia Rizado, where I actually shared my hair journey experience and how to have naturally curly hair. So I used to use the brush when my hair was shorter, but since my hair is pretty long and thick, it's easier for me just to use my fingers. It's more easier, quicker, faster, more organic per se. But sometimes when I cut my hair a little bit shorter, I will just use the brush. But usually it's my fingers. Terrell, say fast, more live streams. Yeah, definitely. I'm planning on doing that. PF ban on Monday that fast. I haven't heard anything like that, guys. If you do, please let me know. Yeah, payment for order flow. So payment for order flow, that's another totally, I think, obstacle that we are seeing here on this thing, because payment for order flow is definitely the pretty good definition of conflict of interest. I mean, because without payment for order flow, why will Robinhood remove the buy button if it wasn't an issue, right? So once this and other things, get cleared out, this will be a huge tailwind to actually catapult the share price higher. We have Soccer Skills Unlimited. I look for advice on what's happening daily from you. Glad you are doing live. It's about time. I have 10, 300 shares winning each day for the most. Oh yeah, definitely, man. Anybody in AMC will not be your future self will thank you for what you did. I mean, it might take time, and this is one of another. I think people are frustrated